Whew. As a calisthenic athlete and coach who's been practicing the Nordic curl for the last few months, today I'm going to be giving you my honest review on the Nordstick. So, like I said, for the past few months, I've been practicing the Nordic curl, and I've really been loving it because I think there's no better way of training than training through calisthenics in your own body weight and being able to master that alongside using other modalities of resistance training. But using the Nordic curl and the Nordic strap is going to be one of the best ways for you to be able to train your Nordic curl. Now, I will be honest, when I first started practicing my Nordic curls, I was using a stable bar. I stopped for a little bit, and then when I got back into it, I thought one of the best ways to train it again, especially when I'm on the go, would be to get a Nordstick. And as great as it is, when I first started training with it again, I honestly did not feel as safe, as stable and secure. And I developed new ways of training the Nordic curl that definitely helped me refine my training program and protocol to allow me to get the move to where I have it now. And now, with the experience and the confidence that I have in the movement itself, I do feel confident enough to train with the Nordstick. So my biggest takeaway from what I just said is, for most people, myself included, someone who's been training calisthenics for over the last 10 years and feels confident enough and proficient enough in all the movements that I do, I think something like this might be a little bit advanced for most people to get into unless you feel 100% confident that you can do the movement. Now, when I started training the Nordic curls again and I felt the most confident was when I was using more of a stable surface. So something like a stall bar setup with some padding for my ankles and enough space where I felt comfortable if I had to fall and hit the floor. One of the bright sides of using the Nordstick that's so awesome about it is that you can literally take it with you anywhere. It's so small, so compact. You could put it up to your door frame, and just like I showed you now, you're able to do the movement and train it effectively. And even if you're not able to do exercises like the Nordic curl, the full Nordic curl, there are exercises that you can use this strap for that make it that much more effective and able to use into your program. And I'll show you some of those in a little bit. But if you're new to the game, new to Nordic curls, and you're looking for the best way to do it, I wouldn't personally recommend this to start with. But if you're planning on doing your Nordic curls, the best way I think would be using a little bit more of a stable surface to get you into the zone, get more confident with it, start building up the strength for it. And then once you feel confident enough on those stable surfaces, I think something like this is great. And I keep saying that it's a little unstable. And the reason for that is because, as you see, it does move around and it does shift. It's not super locked in. And as much as I've tried to lock it in, it could be because my feet are a little bit bigger, my legs are a little longer, whatever the case is, I get stuck into the positioning that I would want to be in. But even still, this does wobble around a little bit while you're going for the motion. And for someone like myself, when I'm doing this, I just don't feel I wouldn't feel as secure when I first started training with it. Even now, with the experience that I do have, I do feel more comfortable using it. But if I had the option, I would like to use something that feels a little bit more secure. So if you're someone who's been training your Nordic curls, or you want to get into your Nordic curls and you're wondering whether or not this will be the best bet for you, I would say maybe practicing on something that you feel more confident with will be the best first step for you. Now, prior to me filming this video, I just got on the scale and I weighed 200 pounds. So that's also something to factor in. The fact that this just hung up to a random door, I'll be honest, I think it's a little bit flimsier than most doors. But the fact that something like this was able to secure itself and hold me through this range of motion, I think is pretty amazing. So one thing I do like about the Nordstick is that when I purchased this, it did come with this Nordstick pad for your knees, because if you're training Nordic curls, you're definitely going to want something for your knees. So that's my personal opinion on it. I'm not affiliated with the company, so I'm telling you exactly how it is, my personal opinions on it. So for the beginner who wants to get into Nordic curls, who doesn't necessarily feel like they have a grasp on this just yet, I would say hold off and work on the fundamentals first. But if you have a little bit more experience in the Nordic curls, I do think that this is something decent that you can get into. And some exercises that I used when I first started strengthening up my Nordic curls that I think will be great, especially for someone getting into it, will be something like some of these, where it's kind of like a Nordic lower back extension. That's what I like to call them. And this is so good because it activates your hamstrings and you're able to get that motion of lifting your body up while you're going through it. That alone is something that you're not going to be able to do just anywhere, but using something like a Nord strap is definitely going to be open up those options for you to do this in. So that's my personal opinion on the Nordstick. I think it's a pretty cool piece of equipment, especially with the piece of cushioning. Now, whether or not you want to get it is up to you, but I think it's pretty cool. And if you have experience doing Nordic curls, I think it's a great addition to your travel equipment when you're on the go. If you're a complete beginner when it comes to Nordic curls, like I was when I first started doing this, definitely take a step back. Aim for strengthening up those hamstrings, finding something else that can allow you to do movements like this and level up your training from there.